action. So I wasn't able to get any video yesterday while the guys are washing the buckets, but this is the setup that we have for it. These are my grandfather's old flat pans that they used to make syrup in. Now there's a wooden plug that goes in here. Now we fill these up with water. We start a fire. Just a small fire, just enough to, just enough to heat the water up. And then what we do is, in the back pan there, we put in a little bit of dish soap. And the front pan we use for scalding the buckets and, getting all the soap out of there. And then we bring them over. We get them all stacked up, let them dry. And then once the time comes, once they're all dried up and everything, and we're sure that they're all dry, then we'll go ahead and we'll put those all in stacks and take those all out and get them thrown in the trailer and ready to go tap. Well, on this episode of 716, it's been a long, hard winter for the Hamilton family. So we're out on the property. Our supplies are running low, and we're tapping the sugar bush. We're getting ready to see if we can get quite a few gallons made and get ready for our trading season. We use a lot of our goods that we make as trade, so we can keep the farm up and just keep the wheels going. So we've taken a break. What's going on? What's going on this season? Talk to me.
Oh, so far, we got the buckets washed and everything, and now we're out here doing some tapping. We got a pretty good crew going on. Got the kids here. And, it's gonna be a good day. It's a little on the chilly side, but it's not too bad so far.
How many gallons are we going to try and yield this year?
Well, we kind of shoot for 30 gallons of syrup every year. Anything that we get over that, that's usually bonus. Got a little bit of a late start this year compared to last year, but it's been cold enough this winter that I think we're going to do pretty well.
So Tim Scott, how many years have you been helping out on the farm?
5.
5 years? How many years have you been helping tap?
4.
Nice. How many deer have you harvested? Didn't you get one over in this food plot right over here?
No. I didn't get one out of that food plot.
Did you get one out of those hills there?
Yes.
Nice. You're a terrible interviewer.
Yeah, I know.
capping these trees, we look for the cedar roots.
And then look up where the large branches come through and try to hit it to make sure that you get our best run on it. Yeah, you'll be on it. He's got 4 decent feeders on it. Straight to just a little bit of downward.
Maybe like right,
300 feet over there?
yeah.
That looks like a good spot. Pick her up a little bit. Not like that. You gotta give it more gas. Give it all the gas you got. Because that'll wad up and you can feel it stop.
That was about to get that.
That should be. Alright, we're gonna put another one on this one. Yeah, you got your feeder root right here, so anywhere in here. Yeah, you either want to look for a feeder root.
Right about here.
It's a good spot. Just a hole. Let's go get that hole shut it off.
Get the file out of that one too.
Put her back in. All right. lot of hands. A lot of hands. So, Mike, how many years have you been helping tap?
6 years.
6 years now? Yeah. How do you think this season's going?
Good.
Going pretty good. Yeah. Not bad. What's your favorite part of the sugaring season?
Tasting.
The tasting? You like tasting the sap? Hey, can't blame you there.
Definitely tasting.
Yeah. But if these hills could talk.
Be a lot of stories to be told.
Yeah, absolutely. So, what else do you like about the whole adventure?
Company, the people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get along good with these old hillbillies out
I
here?
do.
Love to hear it.
City slicker myself. But
Are you? Well, whether you're out here, helping doing sugaring or hunting or making shine or whatever the scenario is, it's a good time.
Good times had by all.
Yeah.
All right, so far we're about just over halfway through. I'm gonna have to leave in a little bit so I can go get ready for work. But we got a good crew today, so we're moving right along. We got a good system down. Everybody's got their own job to do. So really beats past years we've had
We've had times where we've had 20 people up here. We've had times where we've had 3 people up here. So this is working out really well. Looking forward to the season. Should be a good one. Might be a short one. We'll have to see. But for now, just gonna keep tapping away.
On that one, pal.
All right, so now we're about halfway through. We're just moving up tractors, 4-wheelers, side-by-sides, and gonna go ahead and head on down to the house and see what's going on in the kitchen.
Hey everybody, it's Tim and Mason here with 716 Outdoors, and this is the first 716 Outdoors kitchen segment of 2025. Today we're going to be making a venison Philly cheesesteak pizza. It's going to be pretty good. It's smelling good already.
It smells really good. And actually, we do have a sponsor for this video, and we can go ahead and roll a clip from them.
This segment of 716 Outdoors Kitchen is brought to you by 6 South Pizza, featuring homemade dough, dressings, and sauces. 6 South is our choice for pizza, subs, wings, and salads. Call 585-209-4110 to place your pickup or delivery order, or stop in at 6 South Street in Cuba, New York. Alright, so into the pan here, we have 2 tablespoons of butter. And when that gets all melted down, we're going to do 2 tablespoons of flour, make up a little roux, and that's what's going to thicken our sauce. So to the roux that we just whipped up, we just added a cup of nice cold whole milk, and just going to whisk that around. Got some fresh pressed garlic here. And we're going to add in some Parmesan cheese. Be pretty generous with that. Alright, so skipping ahead a little bit, you just saw us make the sauce. Right now on the griddle we have onions, banana peppers, and mushrooms. And these are going to be the toppings for our pizza. Once these get cooked down a little bit, we're going to throw some venison on here, cook that up. Then we're going to take the Blackstone off the stand, and we're going to fire up the pizza oven. It's going to be the first time we've used it right. Hopefully. Being a little colder out here, you know, it's not like we're cooking at room temperature, so the sauce kind of cooled down pretty quick. But that's one of the things that we love about 716 Outdoors Kitchen. Everything is all experimental. Other than the little mini episode that you saw before this one, this is going to be the first time that the pizza oven has been used, and we're hoping for a better result and less fire. Kind of get it where it's kind of divided halfway even, you know. That way I can just... Well, and then we get our second pizza built here, and then we'll fire up the pizza oven and get that heated up and start launching some pizzas.
Boy, I just can't get over how good that smells.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of doing this. I know we've said it before in other segments, but it just, the smell is really what does it. Turn that off. Call this one a wash. And use the next one to make it look pretty. Of course, the next one's on. If I had a nickel for every time I heard that. There we go.
Yeah, it's a slow trip with those things on the road. They're not.
That is a venison Philly cheesesteak pizza. And it looks delicious. So we're gonna slice this up and we're gonna let everybody have a little bit, and I think we have a little bit more dough, so we'll do a couple more, and
I wish I could make it up during
that'll do it.
I mean, I guess I could if I took the day off.
What do you think? Yeah, pretty good. All right, so we're out doing some gathering today. Beautiful day. It's over 50 degrees, which is a nice change up from the weather that we've had. Even better than the weather that we had on Saturday while we were tapping. So far, I'd say probably grabbed about 50 or so buckets. I got my youngest nephew with us. He's always good help. This is his first year back helping. He's been in the Army last 2 or 3 years, so he hasn't been able to help. But he's pretty excited, so he's up here. And right now I'm just gonna grab the 4-wheeler. They're pulling up to the next trees. We got plenty more footage coming up for you. So one good thing about this tree line here is that they get a lot of sunshine, so they normally run really well. For example, this one's completely full and it's actually been running over. And one of my favorite things to do. Nice and sweet. All right, we're getting closer to having a full tank. So once we get back down to the sugar house, kind of explain what we're doing. While we're pumping off the sap from the gathering tank into the holding tub. Which still just, I can't get over how beautiful of a day it is and how well the sap's running. I knew it was gonna run good, but it's running real good. I just got word from my father, who's the head of operations here. He said we got a full tank. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill these buckets, that way when we come back up, they'll be full and ready to go. But now, after that, we'll go on down and I'll show you how we pump off the sap.
Okay. We filled up the first tank of the season, getting ready to pump it off. Open up our valve. Plug in the pipe, pump, and off we go.
That goes through the pipe. It goes up overhead. And it just pumps straight into the tank. As you can see, there's sediment down in the tub. That'll all be filtered out through this filter here, which is actually our second filter of the process. This is our first filter of the process. It takes out all the most of the larger leaves and debris. And then later on in the process, as you saw in previous episodes from last year and last season, we have a filter that goes in the jugging station, which is actually our final filter, and that takes out all the excess that, it might come into the pans, after the filter on the pipe. So how many gallons does this hold?
This is categorized as a 300-gallon tank, but when they make them so they can stack them to ship them. The first one in the stacks is 300 gallon. The next one's a little bit bigger, and they keep doing that until they get, I don't know how many they stack, but this was the top one off the stack. It holds 330 gallons.
So now we're just going to let this flow. I'm just going to go ahead and fill up the pans. I just want to point out, these are the full pans. You can see right here, there's a slot, which allows the sap to come around here, which will then go into the side cups, which allows it to come up front. And then there's a slot here. There's a slot here. And then there's a hole here, which we end up plugging off to keep this our finished side.
Yeah, you can see a little along the sides here that's more like a stain. That's actually baked on niter, and usually about the only, well, the big producers, the way they get that off there is they use acid. But I don't want to do that, because if you don't get everything cleaned and get it rinsed and everything just as good as can be, it'll eat holes in your pans and ruin them. So a little bit of that on there doesn't hurt anything. It's basically baked, it's the compound that's in the sap that occurs naturally. And if you don't get it filtered all the way, when you filter your syrup, you can actually get a little sediment in the bottom, which it doesn't hurt anything, it's all natural.
Yep, doesn't affect the taste or anything.
Doesn't affect the taste, doesn't affect the quality, doesn't affect anything.
So as you can see, the sap just kind of makes its way around.
Maybe we better close that.
And of the sap all over the floor. All right, so we got tank number 2 going into the holding tub. Any thoughts, Noah?
A lot of sap.
A lot of sap.
A lot of sap.
So we'll go ahead and we'll get this pumped in, and he'll go up and continue gathering. I just want to apologize. I didn't get any footage of that last gathering that last tank there. My phone was down to 12%, so got it plugged in. Take it with us this time and get a little bit more footage.
We blow that through with forced air through the line, because if you don't, when you unhook the pump, the backflow will come down here and gush sap all over the place. So that clears it getting ready for the next tank.
So Noah, what do you think so far?
We got a lot of sap so far.
So far, this will be our 4th trip.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not too long either.
What's your favorite part of sugaring season?
Gotta say the sappy wieners.
Sappy wieners.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Can't go wrong with those. What about the eggs?
Eggs are alright. With the what's
Frank and Judy sauce.
yeah, Frank and Judy sauce.
Yeah.
Makes it
That's the
pretty
good
amazing.
stuff. All right, you ready to get back to it?
Oh yeah.
We're almost there.
I went down, but I saved the bucket.
You went down?
It went down, but the bucket survived.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, they say there's no sense in crying over spilt milk, but sap makes me shed a little tear.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right, well, we're just finishing up. We just got about 3 or 4 more buckets to get gathered, and then we're gonna go down and do some boiling. Todd, who you saw earlier on in the episode, he's down there. He's got the fire going and everything and getting everything heated up. So later on, we're gonna cook up some hot dogs, maybe some eggs, and have some dinner.
All right.
So Nick, how many years you been helping?
I've been helping since I was probably 5, so 22 years about.
What's your
Since I was just a little kid.
What's your favorite part about sugaring season?
Well, besides everybody's favorite thing, gathering, I think the sitting around the boilers while they're boiling and having hot dogs, and, you know, shooting the wind, you know.
What's your favorite concoction for a hot dog?
My favorite concoction is that you do a dog, a little bit of, I'm pretty basic. Dog, a little bit of ketchup, a little bit of hot Texas sandwich sauce, and then you get a hard-boiled egg with some hot Texas sandwich sauce on the side.
You like hot Texas sandwich sauce or Frank and Judy's?
Oh, Frank and Judy's. That's a delicacy. So when it's around,
Oh yeah, we try to keep a pretty good supply of that. How do you think we're gonna do this year for sugaring?
well, with as warm as it is, hopefully good. Hopefully, you know, warm in the day, cold at night. Keep it freezing, keep it running in the morning. Hopefully, you know, as good as last year. Can't remember the exact amount last year. It was 40, 50, between 40 or 60. I can't remember which, but good,
I think,
good
it was,
year.
I think it was 2 years ago we did 52.
52. Perfect. That's the mark.
Oh yeah. Any thoughts?
Best time of year. Best time to be around, hang out. It's good to just kind of learn everything how it rolls and get to see the operation. I've been watching it for so long. It's kind of just
You know how to make syrup.
I do. Been learning as much as I can the last couple of years. Try to keep it going once the time comes. So I gotta learn while I can from the master.
All right, go Bills.
Go Bills. That's right.
So here you can see the sap in the left side of the pan is actually darker than on the right side of the pan. That's because it's getting closer to syrup. Here's a better view of the front pan where you can actually see the color change from left to right. All right, everybody, that's going to wrap up this episode. But stay tuned, we got more gathering and boiling to do. And of course, if you have any questions about anything you might have seen in this episode, or anything that we might be doing, feel free to leave a comment down below and we'll get to it.